Welcome back to Palia. My name's Gloomy, and today we're going to talk about what you can do while you're on your plot to make money. Now, you wouldn't think there would be a lot, and you're correct, there isn't. If you're stuck to your plot because either you work from home or you probably play on a Switch, but you're at work or something, whatever it may be, this is going to be more towards you than anything else because you're going to be stuck on answering the phones, doing other things while you're waiting. So while you're waiting, you can actually do a couple of these things. Now, you can cook, however, I believe that takes a little bit too much time. Plus, you have to have certain ingredients that requires you to leave your plot to get. So cooking isn't really a good viable option, especially after you think about the prices on the ingredients that you're using versus the price of the item that you're getting. If you're doing it with folks, then that's a different story. As when you're cooking with other people, you cut down the prices that you are spending. You cut down on the money that you are spending, I should say. So the two other options that I would say that you have while you're on your plot is gardening and fishing. Now, gardening is a great way to make money on your plot because it's more of a passive income. You obviously have to wait for the crops to grow, and depending on what crop you are planting will determine your profit. Now, first things first, when you are dealing with your garden, you are obviously, if you're starting off and you haven't gotten that very far, you're going to want to get your gardening up to level 10 at the very least. That way you can work on getting the apple trees and the blueberry bushes. Doing this will ensure you have the best crops that you can have that give you the most return. Now, apples give you 96 gold if they are starred, blueberries give you 58, cabbage gives you 60, and potatoes give you 67. These are the four main crops that I use while I'm gardening because they're the highest crops that you can get, money-wise. While you're gardening, to level up your gardening, you do have to harvest, not just weed or water. This, as you can see, does not do anything to your gardening skill. So whenever you're wanting to do your gardening skill, you do have to harvest things. And as you can see here, my bar does not go up when I water either. So that's not the best way to really think about gardening. So anyone who has told you watering, weeding, or anything like that gives you XP for your gardening, they just don't know better. And now you do. So the way I have my farm set up is I have 5 apple trees going, 4 blueberry bushes, and then I have cabbage and potatoes alternating around. This way it keeps all the water retained going on every single plot, and I don't have to worry about watering unless I replant something, as you just saw. But doing it this way ensures that you still get weeds, which weeds are kind of annoying to keep picking, but as you can see, I have 50 gold right here just by weeding. So if you don't understand gardening just yet, to keep your water retainment going, you want to alternate between 2 plants that give you water retainment, which for me, I'm using potatoes and cabbage. So if we hit G to examine, you see everything here has water retainment. Some have harvest boost because I have put fertilizer on my garden because I do want to get the most harvest out of my apples and blueberries. But you can see some say growth boost, and that's because of the apple trees. The apple trees give growth boost, so your potatoes, your cabbage, and your blueberries are going to grow faster than normal just because of the apple trees sitting around them. So, but as you can see, cabbage, potato, cabbage, potato, cabbage, and they keep the water retained, and they give water to the 3 plants that they're next to as well as each other. And then again, I alternate between the potato, cabbage, potato. Here I do cabbage, potato, cabbage. But it does the same exact effect, so you can change it up however you like. I just use these because they give you the most gold back. So once you start getting your garden going and you have it set up like this, you can then just worry about showing up every day to weed, check if you need to harvest any of the smaller plants or even the bigger ones once they get bigger, like the apples, and then replant as needed, water, and then walk away for the day, obviously in game day, and then come back again for the next morning and do it all over again. And you keep that up and you do make a profit by just the weeds and everything else. Now once you get to level 10, obviously you will have the preserving bins. Those are unlocked at level 8, and the seed collector are unlocked at level 2. Keeping your seed collectors going to keep your seeds nice and stocked so that way you don't have to worry about it is a great idea. Always make sure you keep your seeds stocked because you don't want to run out and then have to restart that seed. So from here on the preserving bin side, once you're able to do this, I recommend preserving pretty much everything that you have in your garden. As you can see here, apples, as we already said, is 96 gold. However, if you have it starred, obviously like this one, it's going to make star jammed, and that's going to make it up to 144. And I've let this run overnight when I was sleeping, and this is what we've gotten so far. And then potatoes, 67, 102. I'm doing some spicy peppers, which I can actually stop because I do need to keep some spicy peppers. However, you throw some blueberries into that. More potatoes. And then cabbage. So for me, I just make sure everything is staying nice and full with the things that I want in there. Obviously, this will take some time to do because, as you can see, apple jams is 1 hour and 16 minutes, and the lowest time is carrots at 27 minutes. But going down the list, you do have quite a bit that you can pick from. However, if you are doing the exact same farm as me, you're going to get potatoes, cabbage, apples, and blueberries. So from waking up and doing my night haul, we are looking at 16,000 gold in 13 minutes. So in 13 minutes, I'll have another 16k in my pockets. Now, the next step in working on your plot to make gold, while we're waiting for the garden and the preserving bins to do their thing so we can make that money, we can actually fish from our plot. Everyone has a little pond right here. Yes, this is more of a puddle. However, you have this nice pond right here, and this pond is actually considered a pond from the village. So any pond fish that you would get from the village, you would get here. The only issue is you don't get any hot spots here, so you won't get any stars. However, that's not a big deal, as if I pull out my fishing rod, take off the bait, even without bait, you're making 23 gold every time you pull a fish up. No, it's not that exciting, but while you're waiting for, a phone call or having to do something at work, watching a lecture on your computer, whatever it may be, you can sit here and just fish while you work. And you can see right there, 23 gold, just by sitting here. So the more you do it, obviously the more gold you'll get. And if you're lucky, you will get, more rare fish that's going to give you 50 gold. And this is without using bait. So you can have 23, 50, and I believe there's another one that does 80. But if we're just looking at these two fish here, you're looking at a 23 and 50 fish that you can get. And you can fill your inventory up with this. And the great thing is, as soon as you're full, you just run back here, throw your fish all in here, and you'll start getting more money as you do it. Now, obviously, if you use bait, it's going to be a little bit better for you. And to get your bait, you will have to leave the plot just to get the items to make it, just like the preserving bins. But once you do make them, why does my character look so angry all of a sudden? Okay. Once you are able to make some, it is level 4 and level 7 in fishing to get the worm farm and the glowworm farm. The glowworm farm, I will say, will cost you a little bit more to get, as you do need flow wood planks, leather, and iron bars with bricks. The difference between the two is one has sapwood and copper, and obviously, as you saw the other one, it has flow wood and iron. So you will need to be able to harvest that stuff up and then make it so that way you can actually make a couple of your farms. Every glowworm farm is going to take an hour to eat whatever you put in there. And as you can see, I've put some blueberries in here because we are making blueberries. And using blueberries, apples, anything sweet, like sweet leaves, anything that was made by the blueberries or apples or sweet leaves are going to give you speedy grow, fertilizer, and anything that uses vegetables or meats is going to give you a harvest boost fertilizer. Now you can turn around and sell your fertilizer. And as you see, waiting overnight again, I got 2 stacks and a half of fertilizer. And that's 500 a pop with 250. So we've made 1,000 just sitting right there overnight. Plus we got our glowworms. Now regular worms are a value of 5, while the glowworms are a value at 25. So using your blueberries or your apples to make glowworms isn't really the best way to do it, as you are losing money while you do that. You will gain money back by fishing with the glowworms, but if you want a bigger profit, use your vegetables that are not as expensive. Like here, tomatoes are 34, and obviously glowworms are 25, plus fertilizer is 5. So the issue with using your blueberries or your apples is you do take a bit of a hit on price because the glowworms are 25 and the fertilizer is 5. And fishing will bring the price up a little bit, but you don't want to lose too much money when you could turn around and make your blueberries and apples into jams. So your best bet is actually to use your vegetables that you've been using. Or if you have a lot of extra random ones, like I personally like using tomatoes, so I'm probably gonna have to put some more tomatoes in my farm a little bit just so I can have more of a stock of that. You can use sweet leaves as they are at 15, so you will make a nice profit off of the worms and fertilizer. This next part is totally up to you, but you can just sell the fertilizer as is. I do like keeping my harvest boost for my garden, as I don't really need the speedy grow, so I do throw the speedy grow in the shipping bin. And you can see right now we're almost at 17,000, and this is just, except for the 2 fish, this is overnight stuff. So obviously not every time you're going to fish or put stuff in here it's going to be this number, but if you think about it, every couple hours you're going to throw more preserving stuff in. You're going to be throwing your weeds in, you're going to be throwing fish in, You're going to be throwing your fertilizer and pretty much anything else that you want in here while you are doing this. So I'm going to fish with some glowworms until the next time the shipping bin goes, and we'll show you how much fish you can get while you're waiting. As you see, the shipping bin just sold, so this will be our last fish that I'm going to catch right now. So as a reminder, glowfish are 25 gold, and if you use sweet leaf or tomatoes, you are already making profit from the glowworms as they are. But if you turn them into fish by catching them, obviously, you're looking at 85, 85, and 210. And this was only a couple minutes of fishing, obviously not that long as I only got 9 fish, but 210 right there for a glowworm that is 25. So you're pretty much anytime that you're using glowworms, you're going to be doubling or even tripling or quadrupling the price of your worms. You can turn around and sell a full stack of glowworms. As you can see, a full stack is 2,500, or if you only have a few, you can still sell them off and it'll be fine. However, I like to keep my glowworms just because you can make more money off of them, and I feel like it's more of a waste, especially if you're using a little bit more higher priced items, like if you're using the cakes to make them or anything. You're gonna want to use your glowworms to go catch fish. I don't know why I keep saying make fish, but you're gonna want to go catch fish with them just so you can really get the value off of them. And you can see we already made 890. Cooking is probably one of my favorite things to do while I'm playing the game. However, it's not really feasible to do your cooking when you're on your own. As I said before, it's the profit with the price of everything doesn't make sense to do it on your own, just because of how much stuff you have to do. Like this one is obviously on the more steep end. Some of the stuff like these 3 things right here, you can go find at the general store. Otherwise, you have to go find the green onion and garlic and then go fish for bass. So, oh, and then grab crab too. I almost forgot about crab. So, this isn't really feasible to do on your own. More notably, you have red meat, butter. The only thing you can grow is your potato. And then you need mushroom, garlic, and more spice sprouts. And then there's this one. You get stuck sometimes. So as much as I love cooking and I would love to put this in the video, it's just not feasible to do on your own. Plus, if you're busy taking phone calls or, doing something else, you're gonna need your hands probably to do other things, and you can't sit here and, roll out the wheat to make dough. Like I said, just not really feasible to sit here and cook a lot while you're solo. Your best bet if you're wanting to do the cooking, is to wait when you have a little bit more time on your hands and you have some friends that can get on, because you don't want to have this. This is burnt. But you can get it started, so that's kind of cool. So, all in all, there are better ways to make money in this game. But that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you have, make sure to leave a like, as it does help me out a lot and lets me know that people are actually wanting more of this content. So until next time, stay squirrely, do something that makes you happy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!